Hi everybody. We are Hi everybody. We are here today, and awesome man of God with us, and all the way from Sri Lanka, and he's been really on fire, serving the Lord and preaching the gospel in Sri Lanka, and comes from uh, Wow Life Church, and his name is Prophet Ezra Moses. So we have Prophet Ezra Moses with us, and what a joy! And I'm personally excited to hear him share what is laid on his heart this day. And I won't speak much about him. Let him introduce himself. So, one thing I know about him, he is a man of great joy. So, during this time, I'm sure you might get wrecked out by the joy he carries. So, here we have, welcome to you, Prophet Ezra Moses, and thank you for accepting our invitation and coming
My,
and speaking. Yes,
my pleasure. My pleasure. It's such a joy to be here today with my beautiful friend, and I'm just excited to be sharing with your community of people. And I really hope we all get to meet soon, and not just Zoom.
yeah,
It's yeah. And I really speak before we even start that you will all experience the joy of the
amen,
Lord today.
amen.
Will really the more joy you carry. Joy is not sudden happiness. Joy is from the Spirit. Joy is from the Holy Ghost. The
Mm.
more the more you carry joy, the more the word will make sense to you.
Amen,
Okay,
amen,
so I want you to know that I just pray and I release joy to everybody who is here, everybody who's going to listen to this in Jesus' name.
amen,
So
amen. So, uh, uh, before we dive into the topic, so we are going to speak about angels. I mean, you are going to speak lots about angels. And before we get into the topic, tell the viewers and tell us something more about you and what do you do?
uh, about about me, my wife and I, we pastor a church in Sri Lanka. We work with the Wildlife Church, with Prophet Kirby Dilanerol, and we pastor the Tamil Church, um, and that's what we've been doing here in Sri Lanka for almost 7 years now. We've been here, and it's been an amazing adventure, amazing journey. And life is good. We're seeing amazing things happening. And and
Wow.
and when I say amazing, I'm using that word for lack of words to describe what the Lord is doing this season, because
Mhm.
what the Lord is doing this season is so supernatural that the minds and the hearts that can't seem to understand or relate immediately goes into criticizing and judging.
Mm.
So that's why I'm just saying amazing things that the Lord is doing, and if you want to be part of it, as you listen to me today, I will also explain how to be a part of what the Lord is going to do
Wow.
in your lives regarding the supernatural. So I'm excited to bring you the word today, and
Wow.
I'm so happy that we, yeah.
I'm sure we all are feeling the frequency right now, the the high frequency right now. So we are seriously excited to hear from you. Uh, all the stuff, why you saying amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. It's all yours today. So go ahead.
Awesome. All right. So basically, what I normally do is I always dive into the word, and I show things from the word because it makes more sense rather than just me speaking my experiences. If I show you things from here, it'll make more sense. So we're going to dive into the word today, and we're going to look at a lot of things that will make sense for us to actually take baby steps. You know, I always want to help people walk into the angelic, into the supernatural, help them take these steps. You know, so as you listen to me today, I'm very sure you're going to have some crazy encounters. I'm very sure you're going to come back with lots of stories and tell your pastor, tell your friend. It's going to be a good thing, right? So before I start, let me tell you something that happened last week. This happened to a friend of mine. Okay, so this amazing couple that I know, her dad had a stroke, and this is in the middle of the night. So they rush him to the hospital, and they take him into the intensive care unit. And you know, because of the corona scene that's happening, they don't allow more than one person inside the hospital with a sick patient. That's the rule here. And so there is the couple, and then the wife's brother. So there are three of them there. So as they are standing there thinking what to do, the brother goes into the intensive care with the father, and the couple are standing outside waiting, when suddenly a man comes to them. Okay, he comes to them, and he looks like he's dressed like he works in the hospital, and he just tells the couple, just come with me, just follow me. And he takes them straight inside to the ICU, tells them wait there. People might come and tell you to go out, but don't go out. Just stand and wait here. And as this is happening, he tells them, I will go into the ICU. I will check on your father, and I'll come back. He goes into the ICU. He looks at the father, checks things, comes and tells them, don't worry. And all these things is going on. And finally, he comes at 2 o'clock in the night. And finally, it's 5:30 in the morning. And he says, in 5:30 in the morning, he tells them, the father sent me, listen carefully, he says, the father sent me and told me that you are his people, that I need to come and assist you. So these guys ask him, what is your name? And he says his name is Stephen, and he walks away. So the next day, now dad is doing better. The next day, these guys go to the reception, and they ask for Stephen so that they can help Stephen in some way for helping them the previous night. They check their hospital records, and they tell them that nobody called Stephen works at the hospital. Absolutely nobody name works at the hospital. And the person on duty that night was a man called Rizwan. And Rizwan absolutely has no idea who Stephen is.
Wow.
He was sent by the father to assist these guys. And that's what he told them. The father sent me to assist you. My name is Stephen. And then he just walked away. And this is so real. This is as real can get, and it happened last week. So when I go into this topic, I want you to understand this is so real and tangible for us when we speak. That there are so many experiences that I can't even share with you because it won't make sense to you. Okay, but for it to make sense to you, for it to start making sense to you, the best way to go about it is go to the Word.
Yeah.
Right. So let's quickly dive into the Word.
Yeah. So are these people from your church?
Yeah, of course. These are from WOW, friends of mine from WOW. A couple from WOW, and my God, they were so excited. They were so excited. Like this is what your Christian life is supposed to be. Not some go to church, get up, stand up, mumble something, come back and just live your mundane life. Your Christian life is supposed to be an everyday adventure with God. And the more you get addicted to an everyday adventure with God, you can never go back to anything else, right? So before I go into talking about angels, I think it's so important that we understand our position of who we are. right? So I just want to quickly take your attention to Ephesians chapter 2.
Mm.
And I want to start from there today. As you listen to me, uh, I really pray that there will be such a supernatural realm that will open over all of you.
Come on.
Like, like this should go past this. Like you need to now even go past the gold dust and all these things, and really go into realms where you meet and interact and really have these live experiences every day in your homes, you know.
Amen.
So
Awesome.
just one more story before I start. It's been a while ago. This is the problem, you know, when you start sharing experiences, you go from one story to another. A while ago, I was at home. This was a few years ago, like long years ago. I was at home, and I, you know, I had just started my walk with God, and I was just learning about prosperity, and I was just learning that you can really be rich and have all that you want, and all those things. And it was the beginning of my journey, and but at that time I had to. I was completely dependent on the Lord in the sense I didn't have money to say or anything of that sort. And one night, I remember it was around 2 o'clock in the night, and I was sitting and reading the Word, and you know, I had to pay my rent the next day, and I was praying, and the Lord told me, "Don't worry." And when He says, "Don't worry," it was also irritating me a bit that day, because I said, "How am I not supposed to worry when I have to pay this tomorrow? And if you don't do something, I don't know what will happen." And I really felt someone walk into my house. I really felt someone. I couldn't see anyone. I really felt someone walk into my house, and I had no idea what was happening. I was a little freaked out as well. It was the very beginning of all these things, and then I very clearly heard the Lord tell me, "Go to your bedroom and look under your pillow." So I got up. I went to my bedroom. I looked under my pillow. Under my pillow was my Bible. I had another Bible there that I read a lot of Bible, by the way, so it was there. And I lifted the Bible from under the pillow, and out of it fell all the money I needed to pay my rent the next day.
Wow.
This is how tangible and real and supernatural life is, and the angelic realm is so crazily active around you. Just one more story.
Go ahead. We are loving your story.
I had this very expensive sunglasses. You know, it was very expensive. I paid a lot of money for them, and don't ask me why I paid a lot of money for sunglasses. I don't go into that side of the topic, but I liked it. I bought it. It was very expensive, and I lost it. And I searched all over the house, and it wasn't there. So anyway, a week passes by. I forget about it, and I go to a salon that I normally go to do my hair. And as I'm sitting in that salon, a stranger who has joined that place to work recently walks up to me and hands me something and says, "Sir, is this yours?" I say, "What?" And I look at it. It's my sunglasses. I asked him, "Where did you find it?" He said, "It was on my chair today morning, and I felt like it should be yours, so I brought it to you."
Wow.
So obviously, I had lost. Like, I obviously did not lose it at the salon, because I never went to that salon during that period of time. But obviously, some angel had brought it there and left it for me that morning, because he saw me searching for it everywhere. This is how real and tangible this stuff is, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go to Ephesians chapter 2, and let me show you something. Ephesians chapter 2. This is what it says from verse 1. "And you He made alive, who were dead in trespasses and sins, in which you once walked according to the course of the world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit who now works in the sons of disobedience, among whom also we all once conducted ourselves in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by the nature children of wrath, just as the others. Okay? And then comes the gospel. But God, I love this, but God, who is rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, he made us alive with Christ. So beautiful. It says we were dead. Why were we dead? Because of the prince of the power of the air, the flesh and the mind and the spirit and all those things. And it says, but God, so rich in mercy. I just love that. So rich in mercy, made us alive. Now, this is where the problem is, because many people who preach the gospel stop there. They say, Jesus came, he died for your sins, he did everything, and then what happened? Then he went to heaven. And what am I supposed to do? You are supposed to now do everything to somehow reach heaven. And that's the gospel. So what are we doing? We know he's made us alive. And what are we doing? We are doing everything we do to somehow reach God. Like every day I am praying and I'm fasting and I'm doing. Why? Because I want to somehow reach God. I want to somehow reach God. And then suddenly you make a mistake, you make an error, you fall, then you're condemned, you are guilty, and then you turn your attention from going after God to fighting the devil. So then here you are sitting and binding the devil and doing this and doing that, and somehow then you wake up and say, now I'm going to go after God. And then you're trying to reach God. And this has become such a cycle in the life of a Christian, because we haven't understood. We never understood the next part of what happened. It says, he raised us up after he made us alive. It says, he raised us up together. My goodness, he raised us up together and made us sit together in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. See, the gospel is not that. The gospel is he came, he made you alive, he didn't leave you and go to heaven. He took you with him together, and now you are seated with him together in Christ at the right hand of the Father. So you need to understand, he saved you, he made you alive, and he gave you a position. What is the position? The position that was given to Jesus at the right hand of the Father is the same position that's been given to you and I. And the next verse 7. Why was this position given? So that in the ages to come, he might show us the exceeding riches of his grace. Oh my goodness. Wow. He did all this so that in the ages to come, he might show us the exceeding riches of his grace. In other words, he's given us a position that we can't even fathom. And why did he give us that position? So that in the ages to come, he can show us the exceeding riches of his grace. Wow. So if you just simply understand that, if you can just wrap your head around that, I have been given a position. How do you explain position? You go to an office. You enter the office. Let's say as your designation is manager. So that is a position. And how will you think and behave? You will think and behave like a manager. You will only do things like a manager. You are suddenly now given a promotion, and you've been made the general manager. You can't go to that position and keep thinking like the manager. You will have to keep thinking like the general manager. The same way, you and I, human beings, we've been given a position, the right hand position. It's a position. You need to now think and act according to that position. You can't just sit and think like normal human beings on earth, just worried about paying school fees and buying grocery, You need to go past that life. Like I really don't want to come here, excite you and say, you have a God who will take care of your needs. For me, that is so small. Of course, he's going to take care of your needs. Who else is going to take care of your needs? For me, it's not even about needs. He will go past needs. He will go past wants. He will give you desires. I desire, I saw a car recently and I desire it, and I know I'm going to drive it very soon. It's as simple as that. I desire this house that I lived in. Everyone said, how are you even going to manage? It's too big a house. I said, but I want to live in a big house, and I'm living in this big house. I just have one child and my wife, and 3 of us live in such a big house. Why? Because so it's not even about this, it's not about earth. It's not about earthly things, it's not about, I need a kilo of rice today. If you're in that position, I set you free, that you will no more worry about your grocery and your payments, that you will learn to experience the goodness of God. I set you free today. You don't need to be in that place of need and want, okay? Because you have been given a position. Like now imagine, Jesus doesn't wake up every day morning sitting at the right hand of the Father thinking, what do I do? How do I pay bills? How now is life going to be with Corona? Or, you have been given the same position. How does Jesus think? How does he operate? If we do not understand this, if we do not walk that walk, we are going to be so far away. We are going to be looking for prophets to give me some word so I can take that word and make some money. And Christian life is going to get so boring. And you start calling people you don't know Papa and running after them and falling at their feet. And you make yourself look so petty by doing those things because you don't understand position.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm being too hard, but
absolutely.
But some things need to be said.
Absolutely. I love it. I love this.
Yeah. So now, because you understand position, because you understand who you are, you need to know, there is a verse. Let me read this verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I'm going to read from verse 45. Just listen to this. So beautiful. It says, and so it is written, the first man, Adam, became a living being. The last Adam became a life-giving spirit. Okay. However, the spiritual is not first, but the natural, and afterward the spiritual. The first man was of the earth. Imagine, the first man was of the earth. He was made of dust. But the second man is the Lord from heaven. So also are those who are heavenly. Now listen, as was the man of dust, so also are those who are made of dust. And as is the heavenly man, so also are those who are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the man of dust, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly man. So what does it say? It is so important that I don't relate to the earthly self anymore, that I relate to the heavenly self, that I am not a man of natural thinking anymore, that I am a man of supernatural thinking. Natural thinking is expecting your grocery bill, Natural thinking. Supernatural thinking is expecting to be doing the most craziest thing and living the most craziest life possible. They are two different things completely, right? So you and I, now we have a mandate to bear the image of the heavenly, because we don't connect to the earthly anymore. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. I hope this is coming across to you. And that is why it says in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1, it says, if then you were raised with Christ, like it says in Ephesians, if you were raised with Christ, seek things that are above. There comes the important part of your Christian journey. If you now truly believe that you have been raised, like when Jesus came out of that tomb, a new man, you came out a new man, you came out a new species. You are called new creation. What does new creation mean? There is no other species on earth like you. And if that is true, and if that is what you believe, then seek things that are above. Stop your looking at earth for, oh my God, my neighbor got a new fridge. I need to get a better fridge. We need to get out of that earthy, natural thinking and living. And we need to seek things that are above. Like every day morning, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, and even when you're sleeping, you're not really sleeping. Your 24 hours is a supernatural life, and you're just thinking of things above, enjoying and manifesting things. Your life needs to be crazy. I recently got a call from Singapore, and there was this man on the phone, a person that I know. He was on the phone and he was thanking me. He was thanking me. He said, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much." And his thank you wasn't making sense to me. So I asked him, so now I want to know the story. So I had to, very beautifully ask him a question as to can you tell me the whole story? So I said, "Can you tell me the whole story?" And he said, "What do you mean the whole story?" I'm still in the hospital. I was in the hospital for gum surgery. And last night you came to the hospital and you prayed for me. Today morning the doctors checked and they said, I don't need surgery. And whereas I was not in Singapore, I was at home, happy sleep. So we need to take our eyes upward, look at things above, and not be stuck to, this earthly things irk me. They don't belong to me. I bear the image of the heavenly. I bear the image of the heavenly. I don't want to be that man who wants to just encourage you, tickle your senses, throw a prophetic word and do all the tickling each other. I'm not into that business at all. I want every single person who calls himself a Christian to walk like the person you look at and go, wow. You look at a prophet and you go, wow, look at that. You were called to be exactly that.
Absolutely.
So stop. So you need to stop being petty and change your mind and look at things above. Look at things above. Go after those things. Hebrews 6:1. I'm sure you all remember Hebrews 6:1. It says, "Therefore, leaving the elementary teachings, elementary principles of Christ." That's what it says. We're going to leave the elementary principles. What are the elementary principles? The foundation of repentance from dead work, faith, the doctrine of baptism, laying of hands, resurrection, eternal judgment. The writer of Hebrews says, hey, we need to go away from this elementary. Can you believe earthly minds are still debating these things every day? When people who bear the image of the heavenly come forward with something that they have seen and they bring it down to people, there are these petty earthly minds that come and wrestle and debate about the elementary.
Absolutely. Wow.
There is so much more for us. There is so much more for you and I. And that is the will of the Father. What is the will of the Father? The will of the Father is for me to be Christ. And I don't look like Christ if I'm going to be earthly, fighting with elementary principles, debating and arguing and throwing stones and not really enjoying Christian life.
Absolutely.
I hope you're all okay.
Yeah, this is wonderful. This is awesome.
So why am I saying all this? I'm just saying we need to come out of a certain mindset if we are going to even understand the angel. We need to come out of a certain mindset. We need to come out of certain thinking. We need to come out of our natural self. We need to. We are not normal people. We are not natural people. Yeah. We cannot be that at all. Praise Jesus. We cannot. We cannot. So what are we supposed to do? We're talking about angels. We're talking about angels, right? Now the question comes to, are angels real? That's what people always ask. Are they real? And my only answer to you is from Acts chapter 23 and verse 8. I'm giving you these verses so you can, after you listen to this sermon, you go back and reread those things. Reread so you can, Acts chapter 23 verse 8 says, the Sadducees, it talks about the Sadducees, the Sadducees, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, these sad people, the Sadducees, they say that there is no resurrection, no angel, or no spirit. That's what the verse says. Can you see in Acts? Paul is the one who says this. Paul says the Sadducees, resurrection is the foundation of Christian living. Resurrection and then spirit. Spirit life is what our life is. So they don't believe in resurrection, they don't believe in spirit, and right at the center of it, he says they don't believe in angels as well. So as important as resurrection is, as important as spirit life is, that's how important the angelic is. So our angels real, they are so real. If you believe in the resurrection, if you believe in spirit life, then I urge you today, you better start believing in the angelic, because it is so real. It is as real as it can get. Amen.
Amen.
So let me start talking to you a bit on the angelic. Okay. I want to, let's say, where do we go? Where do we start? Let's start with John chapter 1. Okay, let's go to John chapter 1. Praise you, Jesus. When I was 8 years old, 8.5 years old, I was very young and I had an encounter.
Wow.
And I had a vision of sorts. I was just 8, so I can't really explain vision and all that back then, right? So I saw something very clear.
So were you sorry to interrupt, but were you had a family background who were Christians?
Yes, my parents have been in ministry for almost over 40 years now, and it was a very different household. My dad is my dad is someone who's raised the dead in front of me and had the most craziest meetings. He was not a normal person, so I didn't grow up in a normal go to church, come back kind of. So like they said, the mind once stretched can never go back to normal. When I was very little, my mind was getting stretched. So that's why today when people come and try talking normal to me, it doesn't make sense, because it's been too stretched for pettiness, So,
yeah.
8.5 years old, I had this very clear encounter and this vision, and there was a figure, and the figure was just light. It was just light, so bright and just light. And this figure came to me. I was so scared looking at this figure that I ran and hid behind a bed. And but this figure came closer and closer and said, "Don't worry, I came here to give you something." And then as I'm looking at him to see what are you going to give me, and I'm looking at him, and he said, these three people, I brought them so that they can be yours. This was at 8.5 years old.
Wow.
And I my dad, and I asked him, what happened? Dad told me, don't worry, son, that was just God. He came and released 3 angels to you for them to be with you all the time. But and boy, were they with me.
Wow.
Were they with me.
Wow.
I walked, and as I was growing up, I wasn't, really walking with the Lord. And one day I was really stone drunk, and I had to go catch a train. And as I reached the train station, my train was leaving. So I was wearing a very heavy knapsack, and I decided to run and catch the train. And as I ran and caught the train and put my leg on the step, I slipped. And I can literally see me now going under the train.
Wow.
And suddenly someone caught me like this, pulled me up, put me on the train, and disappeared.
Wow.
I wanted to say thank you, but nobody was there.
Wow.
So even though I wasn't really walking with the Lord per se, these 3 angels who were released to me, they never left my sight.
Wow.
And it was only later that I met them face to face, and they told me their names. We had conversations. I don't want to
Wow.
get into that because it might be too much. But for now,
Yeah.
let's go to John chapter 1. John chapter 1. Praise you, Jesus. And the very last piece on that long chapter, from verse 43,
Mm-hmm.
it says, the following day, Jesus wanted to go to Galilee,
Mm-hmm.
and he found Philip and said to him, follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter.
Mm.
Philip found Nathanael and said to him, we have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Now, this is where the whole saying came, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Because Nathanael looks at Philip and says, can anything good come out of Nazareth? So
Mm.
from verse 47, now it gets interesting. Jesus saw Nathanael coming towards him
Mm-hmm.
and said to him, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no deceit.
Mm-hmm.
Nathanael said to him, how do you know me? Now Jesus answered and said to him, before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. Now,
Mm.
now you need to understand what's happening here. This is like a forensic prophetic moment happening.
Mm.
Jesus saying, I saw you at the fig tree.
Mm.
Even before Philip could come to you, I saw you before that. And Nathanael, 49. Nathanael answered and said to him, Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You know, like we all do, like hear
Mm.
a forensic prophecy and, oh my goodness. That's what Nathanael is doing.
Mm.
Nathanael like, oh, you must be the Son of God. Yes, you are the one. And then Jesus answered. Jesus like, calm down, buddy. Calm down. Jesus saying, because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe? It's like, just because I gave you a forensic prophecy, do you believe?
Mm.
And then he says, but you will see greater things. Greater things. You are getting excited for a prophetic word.
Mm.
You will see greater things.
Mm.
And 51, what greater things? And he said to him, most assuredly I say to you, hereafter.
Mm.
Are you listening to me? Here is your authorization. Here is the authorization for you to move in that realm.
Mm.
Most assuredly I say to you,
Mm.
hereafter you shall see heaven open.
Amen.
You should understand. You should understand. In the book of Isaiah, for example, we read, they were all crying, open the heavens and come down. And it's so irritating to hear people say the same thing today. I want to make it clear once and for all, the heavens above you are open.
Mm.
They are open. You have open heavens above you, and you are an open heaven to somebody who wants to encounter Jesus. Never forget that. Out of you will flow rivers of living water. And he said that regarding the Holy Spirit that will flow out of you. So don't forget that you are an open heaven to people who want to encounter God. And you have open heavens above. Never forget that, okay? And he said, most assuredly I say to you, hereafter you shall see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending. He says, my goodness, you will see greater works. What greater works are we going to see? Heavens will open and angels will ascend and descend. And that's all he says there. But here is the first authorization. Angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. I want to repeat that. You will see greater things. You will see heavens open, and you will see angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. If you close your eyes, you will vision it. You will see it. Your imagination picks it up. What functions here inside is so much greater than your thinking level. If you just look right in now, you will see angels, open heavens, angels ascending and descending. and that is your portion. Grab it, go for it. Okay? So now, what are they doing going up and down? What are they actually doing? Why are they going up and down? Right? Let's go to Hebrews 1. Let's quickly go to Hebrews 1. I want to show you something so good. Okay?
Wow.
Hebrews 1. I guess we'll read a lot today. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's read from verse 4. Having become so much better than angels. Remember that. We're going to come back to that. Having become better than angels, meaning angels were better than us, even better than Jesus one point of time. But what changed it? We're going to look at that as well, okay? Having become so much better than the angels, as he has by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. Okay? Now listen, understand. I'm going to break down the, how do we put it? There is a mystery around the angelic, like they are so far away and they are so holy because they are the ones next to God and we are not. And let's break this down. Let's break this down. I want you to first understand before I break this down. You are a son. You are a son.
Amen.
You are the son. Okay, now let's look at this. To which of the angels, verse 5, did he ever say, you are my son? To which of the angels did he ever say, you are my son? But he has told you that you are his son.
Awesome.
Verse 6. But when he again brings the firstborn into the world, he says, let all the angels of God worship him. Can you believe it? Do you understand? No one has ever seen God. Do you know, if you read 2 Timothy, it says God is invisible. Like we need to really get to terms with the fact that we have an invisible God. It's the fact that God is invisible that helps us go after the vibration, the word. If we don't understand the invisibility or the invisible nature of God, we will be seeking with our senses. Do you understand me? He is invisible, okay? He is invisible. So no one has ever seen God. So what do you think? Angels have seen God? No. What are you even talking about? Just because they're in the presence of God doesn't mean they get to see. No one has ever seen. And that is why when Jesus was born, all the angels gathered to worship him, because for the first time they're going to see some form.
Wow.
Do you understand? You know, when he again brings the firstborn into the world, he said, let all the angels of God worship him. And of the angels, he says, who makes his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire? You know, this he is quoting from the old, okay? But listen, but to the Son, if there are sons in the house, listen to me. Sons, listen to me. But to the Son, he says, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom. You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. Therefore, God, your God, has anointed you with the oil of gladness more than your companions. Now he's talking about Jesus Christ, but you need to know you are a son. Jesus is not ashamed to call you his brethren. Okay, so now this needs to make sense to you as well. Okay, now listen to this. To which of the angels, verse 13, to which of the angels has he ever said, sit at my right hand? Hello.
Wow.
But to you, he gave you that position. To you have the right hand position. But it says, but to which of the angels did he ever say, sit at my right hand? Oh, Jesus. But to you.
Wow.
But to you. And that is why he is saying, now listen to this very carefully, aren't they all ministering spirits? Now, angels. No, aren't they all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for those who will inherit salvation.
And
Woo!
ooh, that's amazing.
You and I have inherited salvation. Salvation is my portion. Now, all the angelic that you understand around you, aren't they all ministering spirits? Ministering spirits is like, it sounds like an even better term. What is ministry? In plain words, servants. But spirits who serve. Spirits who serve. Ministering spirits sent out to serve you and I. Now think about this for a minute. I have this house, and I have a couple of people to come and clean this house, but I don't allow them to clean the house. I make them sit right there, and I do all the cleaning. Does it make me look stupid?
Yeah.
Yes. It's the same thing. There are ministering spirits around you. Praise Jesus, they're around you, ready to assist you. They want to assist you. But you need to understand and allow them. They're all ministering spirits. Verse 2. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Just because it's divided into a chapter doesn't mean it's something new. Okay, he's talking about the same thing. Whoever decided to translate this decided to cut it off there and do a new chapter. So therefore, this is what verse 1 says. Therefore, we must give the more earnest heed to the things we have heard, lest we drift away. Do you understand? Give earnest heed to what you just heard about the angelic and you, lest you drift away. Okay? Now let me tell you one more thing to help you understand that you are in a superior position. Okay? Chapter 2 from verse 5 says, for he has not put the world to come, of which we speak, in subjection to angels. Okay? The world is not subjected to angels, but it's subjected to you and I. Authority has been given.
Amen.
But it is written, verse 7, what is from verse 6? But it is written, what is man that you are mindful of him, or the son of man that you take care of him? You have made him a little lower than angels.
Yeah.
See, people have this thought in their head still, that we are lower than angels. But why are we lower than angels? Why was Jesus lower than angels? The answer is right there. Are you with me? Let's look at verse 8. You have put all things in subjection under his feet. For in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him. But now we do not yet see all things put under him. But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than angels for the suffering of death. Hello. Why was he lower than angels? Because angels don't die. But man has to face death. And that is why man was inferior to the angelic. But look at this. Here's the good news of the gospel. But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, might taste death for everyone. Praise Jesus. Now he has tasted death for everyone, and he has brought life and immortality into being. And that is why, here is your second point to understand that you are superior.
Wow.
One is you are son. Next, he died and tasted death for everybody. It actually makes you superior. And angels are ministering spirits. Praise Jesus, praise Jesus. I just love the fact. I just love the fact that God, in all his wisdom, decided to create ministering spirits for you and I. Man, oh man, oh man.
Wow. Absolutely.
You know, let me show you another verse, okay? In Luke, I want you to go to Luke Luke. I want you to see these things first.
Mhm.
Luke. So how long do you normally do the word? Am I going too long?
No, it's fine. We normally it is more than an hour.
All
It
right.
goes,
So I
yeah,
think I'm
it goes more than an hour.
right. So right. So I'm almost there. I'll finish quickly because I don't want to talk too much, and
Yeah,
I'll finish quickly
we
because we
we
are
we are
almost
loving it.
close to it.
We
Yeah.
are loving it.
Awesome. Let's look at Luke chapter 10. Oh, I'm in Mark. Sorry, Matthew, Mark, Luke chapter 10. I want to show you something that is just awesome. Okay, and verse. No, before we go there, before I go to 10, let's go to Luke 12. Let's go to Luke 12.
Mhm.
Okay, and Luke 12 and verse, let's see, verse 8. Okay, this is super interesting. This is
Mm.
Jesus.
Mm.
This is Jesus saying something. What is he saying? Verse 8. Also I say to you, whoever confesses me before men,
Mhm.
him the Son of Man will also confess before the angels of God.
Mm.
And then the next verse is even more interesting. He who denies me before men,
Mhm.
he's saying, if you deny me before men, I will kick you and I'll send you to hell. No, that's not what he says.
Mm.
He says, he who denies me before men will be denied before the angels of God.
Mm.
Do you understand the importance of the angelic in your life? Everything that heaven wants to do in and through you, it's doing through the angelic.
Mm.
That's why Jesus makes this statement. He says, you confess me, I will confess your name before the angels. In other words, you are for me. If you are
Mm.
for me, I'm going to go speak your name to the angels. If you deny me, I will deny you to the angels.
Mm. Wow.
So what does that tell me? What does that tell you? It needs to tell you that everything that heaven is doing in your life is being done through the angelic. You need to awaken to that. You
Mm.
need to awaken to what is happening around you.
Wow.
Now come with me to Luke 10. That's where I wanted to take you. Luke 10 it's a very interesting chapter. If you read it, uh, let's see. This is what happens. The Lord appointed 70 others
Mm.
and sent them two by two before him. Okay, Jesus picked up 70 people and he gave them authority. If you read it, God says, I give you authority to heal the sick. Verse 9, heal the sick and do all that. And the 70 go. Now, the going is not the interesting part. I want to pick it up from verse 17. Then the 70 returned. Praise Jesus, they returned. The 70 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons are subject to us in your name. And Jesus turned around and said, what are you talking about? That's the thing, What are you saying? Even demons are subject. I remember this incident, just in case there are some religious people listening. One story for you guys. So I was at this meeting with my spiritual father. My spiritual father was going to preach and minister that day. I had absolutely no work. I just went with him, So I went there, and they put a garland on him and did all that. And so I took the garland and all that, and I was just happily sitting, uh, looking at the roof and just doing my thing, And then my spiritual father, he got up and he went to preach. As he started preaching, one lady got up and started manifesting the whole deal, So my spiritual father immediately on the mic, he said, what you tolerate will dominate. Take her out of here, put her in a room. Ezra will come and take care of it. I was like, no. I was happily sitting there, doing my thing. And now I got up like, good Lord, what am I getting myself into? And I walked down, and I went to the room. And before I go there, a couple of ladies are prepping me. That she's been in church for 6 days now, and we have figured that she has 49 demons. I don't know how they came up with the number. She has 49 demons, and we've been trying and praying. So be careful, brother. I said, okay. And I went there. I went there and I opened the door. True to what these women have been saying, there is this a girl. There are two healthy men and one healthy auntie. Okay, when I say healthy, you need to understand healthy. Okay, this little girl is throwing all three of them around. I opened the door, I looked at it, I was like, oh my good Lord, what is happening? Okay, let me tell you something else about Ezra Moses. Ezra Moses likes his shoes. So I buy all these, nice shoes. Now people have got two things against me. You have expensive sunglasses and you wear expensive shoes. Oh my God. Well, yes, I do. God loves me. He blesses me. I live life. But now listen, as I opened the door, this lady took a glass of water that was there and poured that water on this new pair of suede shoes that I had recently bought. And when the water came and hit the shoes, I got mad for a minute. I just looked at her and said, you will stop your nonsense now. She fell down. She got completely delivered. And that was that.
Wow.
That is the authority you have as a son. You don't need to take a mic and say, go there, come here, what is your name? Shake your leg, shake your hand, bend down, touch the floor. We don't need gimmicks.
Wow.
What you tolerate will dominate.
Yeah.
If you understand your authority, you don't need to tolerate anything to the point of it dominating. You understand me? So here, that's what's happening here. The 70 come back rejoicing, saying, "Oh my God! All the demons they run away." And Jesus turns around and said, "Hey, I saw Satan fall like lightning." Now it's already past an hour, so I don't want to go into all that because then it'll take forever. But if you want to understand it more, go read Revelation chapter 12 onward. And you will understand what it means. For your kind information, the whole book of Revelation is not about the coming or the second coming or the 10th coming. I don't know which coming is going to be. Okay?
Absolutely.
So, listen to this. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Behold, I give you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. And then he says something. Let me quickly put this across to you. Chapter 20. Nevertheless, do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you. What are they? They are ministering spirits. Spirits are subject to you. Don't forget, they subject to you. But then he says something even more important here. He says, don't rejoice that spirits are subject to you. Spirit could be any spirit. But don't forget that spirits are subject to you, but rather rejoice because your name is written in the heaven. Now, when I saw that, I was wondering, what is this name written in heaven business? Like what is it? Like I've heard growing up people telling me one day you will stand by the gate and they will read the book and see if your name is there. If your name is there, you can go in. If your name is not there, I don't know what then. All these things. But I was thinking, if heaven, listen to me very carefully. Heaven. What if heaven here means or symbolizes authority instead of a geographical location?
Mm.
For example, there is a verse that says, heaven is my throne and earth is my footstool.
Yeah.
If that verse is literal, then God is sitting in the heaven somewhere, according to our imagination, heaven somewhere there.
Mm.
And then earth is his footstool, then his legs must be really long.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No. So what if heaven is or denotes authority?
Mm.
So here now Jesus says, don't just rejoice about your name being,
Mm-hmm.
don't just rejoice about spirits being subject to you, but rejoice that your name is written in the heaven. And that's the good news I want to give you. Let me tell you this.
Mm.
One day, Paul, without going into the Bible, I'm going to quickly tell you this. One day, Paul is, ministering. Some people see him ministering and chasing away demons in the name of Jesus, and they decide to do it. And the sons of Sceva, it says, they also decide to do it. They go catch hold of this person. They're trying to chase a demon in Jesus' name. And this demon looks at them and says, Jesus, I know. Listen, Jesus' name has been made known by the Father. You get it?
Yeah.
So any spirit should know, any spirit will know his name.
Mm.
But the demon went on and said, Paul also I know.
Mm.
Now Paul is not dead. Paul is not in the cloud. Paul is alive and well, but in the spirit realm, his name is known.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah.
He's saying, rejoice because your name is written in the heavens.
Mm.
I want you to know there is a realm that is alive and active around you, and they know your name.
Absolutely.
Rejoice because your name is known.
Mm.
Rejoice because your name is known.
Mm.
Known by who? Known by a realm that you can't see right now. But in a minute, I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to ask God to open your eyes. And I'm telling you, you will start seeing things that you would go freaked out.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
But before I do that, can I just read just one more verse?
Wow.
Just one more. By now you would have understood I'm a word guy. I just go word. Okay. Just one more.
Amen.
Matthew 18. Okay. Verse 1. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus saying, who then is the greatest in the kingdom of God, in the kingdom of heaven? Jesus called out a little child to him, set him in the midst and said, assuredly I say to you, unless you are converted and become as a little children. I don't know what your religion is, and I really don't care. I didn't come here to convert you into Christianity either. I want you to convert into a little child.
Wow.
I want you to convert into a little child. Not become childish. There are two different things. Not become childish, but become like a little child. See, look at this verse 6. Whoever causes one of these little children to stumble, God is very serious about causing the little ones to stumble. Who are the little ones? They're converted into little children. They believe in all these beautiful things. They seek the things above and they want it. But then there are other people who want to cause these little ones to fall. There are people like that also. Okay. Now I want you to go look at verse 10. 10 he says, take heed. Verse 6 he says, don't make them stumble. Verse 10 he says, don't despise them. Who? The little ones. I am a little one.
Amen.
I'm telling you, you can never cause me to stumble. I've gone past that stage. I'm also telling you very kindly,
Mm.
Don't despise me. Don't despise me. You
Mm.
know why? You know why? Verse 10 it says, do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that in heaven their angels
Mm.
always see the face of my Father. Hello?
Wow.
Your angels right now are there looking at the face of your Father.
Mm.
If the Father even utters a sigh regarding you,
Mm.
they're going to be next to you doing the most craziest things.
Mm.
It can be a sunglass, it can be money, it can be ministry, it
Mm.
can be people. People always ask me, Pastor, how did you grow your church? I didn't do anything.
Mm.
I didn't do evangelical meetings. I didn't do advertisements. I didn't do special meeting. I didn't do nothing. I just took the building and I started church.
Mm.
And people started coming and coming and coming. So I said, it's by grace. They say, we know it's by grace, but how did you do it?
Mm.
That's the funny part. All I can say is I've got angels working on my behalf.
Mm.
And you can have them too.
Absolutely.
Do you understand me? Like I like there is so much. This topic is such a vast topic if you get
Mm.
into it. But I just wanted to push you into this today.
Yeah.
I just wanted to push you into this, gently push you into this today. Excuse me. There is an incident that happens in 2 Kings. If I'm not mistaken, it's 2 Kings chapter 6. It's the story of Elisha and his servant.
Mm.
The Syrian army surrounds Elisha's house, and the servant is saying, oh my God, the army has surrounded us. What is going to happen? And Elisha just prays a simple prayer. He says, Lord, open his eyes.
Mm.
He opens his eyes, and as far as he can see over the hills and the valleys all around, he sees an even greater, bigger army ready to fight his battles.
Mm.
And I pray that prayer over you today. It's the
Amen.
most simplest prayer. I don't believe in using big words and praying for 10 minutes. My prayers are always one-liners, and I pray this prayer over you today. Lord, every single person watching, listening, open their eyes in
Amen.
Jesus' name.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Wow. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. This is
Amen.
this is so wonderful. This is so wonderful. Yeah. So before we get this to close, uh,
Yes.
I'm sure like people will have this question right now in their mind. In how do you engage with this angelic? How do you activate them? How do you see them more into your life?
Yes. So,
Manifesting in your life.
yes. See, like I said today, first believe. First
Mm.
believe
Mm.
that they're around you.
Mm.
Okay? And then get introduced to that realm.
Mm.
You get introduced to that realm. Okay? I there are so many things I can say on the activation part of it,
Mm.
but for now, uh, this is what I can tell you.
Mm.
In the Bible, Paul, when he writes in Corinthians, he says, "Desire the best gift."
Mm.
In chapter 12, if you read the end of chapter 12, he says, "Desire." He says, "You desire
Mm.
the best gift." Okay, so he's talking about the gifts of the Spirit, but it's the same principle. You see, it's the same principle. If you believe it, if you understand it, then desire it. When
Mm.
I say desire, it's not liking something. It's
Mm.
not like I like that house or I like that person. I like, no, desire. Oh my God, it breaks me that I want it.
Mm.
I want it. I just want it. Oh my God, I'm so after it. I'm
Mm.
telling you, your key
Mm.
to walking into the realms of the supernatural is always desire.
Wow.
If you can hear me today, go back to your home, just go sit in your room for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 24 hours, and just desire and say, Lord, oh my God, am I not a son? Why can't I have that? I
Mm.
desire it. Oh, I
Wow.
desire it. Oh, let me see this. Let me understand this. Let me be like a little child in your
Mm,
house. Let me be like a little child in your kingdom. I don't want to have doctorates and talk big language. I want to experience. I desire.
mm.
And there you go. You have it.
This is
Trust
powerful.
me.
This is powerful.
Trust me. It's in the conversion. It's in the conversion. What are you converting into?
Mm,
It's in that conversion. I have a little son at home. He desires things. And,
mm,
and when he desires something, he can't keep it to himself.
mm,
He comes and says, Dada, Dada, that's so good, Dada, that looks so beautiful, Dada, Dada, can we have it, Dada, Dada, will you buy it, Dada? He can't
mm,
stop it.
mm,
Oh my God. And what do you think Dada is going to do?
mm,
When Dada sees that kind of desire,
mm,
and when I know that it's a healthy desire,
mm,
he's not after me asking for this and that and all the weird things on earth. No. When Dada sees that desire, Dada can't help but release. Dada can't help but authorize. Dada can't
mm,
help but go give a big hug and say, welcome to the kingdom. Enjoy everything that I have for you.
mm. I agree.
So
Wow.
you want it. You want it. You want it. Then go desire it. I'm telling you, there have been days in my life where this might sound very I mean, if there are grace people, might sound funny to you, because I've spent I spent hours and hours closed up in my room
Mm,
desiring the things of God and talking to my Father.
wow.
I didn't just walk. I was just didn't one day get up and walk into it. It's in the
Mm,
desire that all these things were birthed. Okay,
mm,
so don't. How do I put it? Do not confuse desire with works.
mm,
Do you
mm,
understand me? It's
mm,
not works. It's
mm.
not works. Go after it.
Yeah. It,
Go
it,
after it.
it's more like labor of love. It comes
Yes.
out of your heart,
Yes.
and that it's more of a hunger that drives your actions. Wow.
Exactly.
This is
Exactly.
awesome. This is awesome. I say to
Praise.
people, I say to people,
Right.
you want something, you want to see angels, you want to see the
Right.
manifestation, signs, wonders,
Right.
expectation. Expectation
Yeah.
and hunger is the key
Yeah.
to all
That's
this
the
stuff.
key.
That's the key.
The key.
You get it when you're hungry for it, and be hungry like a small child, like how you said.
That-
Like
Yeah.
the it's like sometimes I am like, oh God, give me just one gold dust, give me just one
Yeah.
green sword, like
Yeah.
just to experience what people are experiencing, you see.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I see them, I immediately put it, like I'm in so awe of them. I put them on Facebook, I put them on social media, only to
Right.
break the mindset of people,
Exactly.
that they come out of this logical, rational world, and they
Right.
say, this is possible. This is possible.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
Very true. Very true. Very true. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a joy speaking to you all
wow.
today.
Thank you, Prophet Ezra, for sharing so much this moment with us on this session. And really, my heart goes out to you to thank you for really, really, really making this time an awesome time. And
Amen.
surely we are going to meet in person, and especially we're going to
Yes,
meet you,
looking forward to that.
bring you down to Goa. So thank you so
Awesome.
much. Thank you so much. Our love
Awesome.
and blessing and prayers to all you out there, and your family. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
God bless you. God bless you.